Let's cultivate our motivation. So it's actually quite difficult to create the causes to hear the Dharma. And now we have that opportunity this evening for a short time. Some people wanted to come to the Manjusha retreat. They weren't able to for one reason or another. They lacked the karma to do so. It's a pity that they missed the teachings. But now, at least this evening, those of us here and those of us online have created the merit to be able to hear the Dharma. So let's treasure that opportunity and make good use of it. And the best way to do that is to have a strong determination to work for the benefit of others. And if we have that strong determination, it will help us overcome the various obstacles we face. Because if we just stay steady with our intention to benefit others, we can't let our mind get overwhelmed by self-centeredness. And since self-centeredness is what causes our problems, generating the bodhicitta again and again really helps us to avoid succumbing to self-centeredness. That is, if our bodhicitta is really deep and sincere. If not, it's by our mouth, and when problems come up, we just do things according to our old afflicted ways. So that's why it's valuable, as much as possible, again and again each day, to generate bodhicitta, leave that imprint in our mind, and try and take that seriously in our lives. So let's do that now. So we hear over and over and over again about the disadvantages of self-centeredness and the benefits of cherishing others, and how bodhicitta is built on cherishing others. And we think that that's a wonderful idea, and in our heart we really yearn to be able to do that. And then on a daily basis, what happens? Yeah. Oh, my stomach hurts. I'm dying. This is terrible. Save me. I can't do anything. I'll go for lunch. Lunch tastes really good. But now I have my stomach ache again. Oh, woe is me. This is terrible. My stomach hurts so much. I mean, I'm a little theatric, but so are we, you know? When something, a small thing happens we don't like, or we don't feel well, we just go completely berserky, you know? Nothing else in the world matters except my stomach ache. Yeah? Millions of people have stomach aches. Millions of people don't even have food in their tummies to have a stomach ache with. Yeah? But we just get overwhelmed. Yeah? And then, we say, for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will endure whatever it takes to become a Buddha. Except I won't endure a stomach ache. I won't endure not getting what I want, and I won't endure this and that, the other thing. And so obstacles arise, and we just go right along with them. Yeah? We don't even consider that any of our obstacles have anything to do with our self-centeredness. Yeah? Either our self-centeredness in the sense that we created the karma for that obstacle. So why are we belly aching when motivated by self-centeredness, we created the karma for it? And then also to see how we react to that obstacle. Yeah? Do we try and even practice the Dharma? Or is the Dharma completely gone from our mind? Yeah? A stomach ache, and then the Dharma is gone. Yeah? Somebody says a few words we don't like. The Dharma's gone. What are we going to do at the time of death? Yeah? If we can't try and work with our minds now, when there's obstacles, what are we going to do at the time of death? Yeah? So we need to think about this, and it's very scary. Yeah? But it's a good kind of fear, because hopefully it'll motivate us to do something to prevent the situation that we're afraid of. Yeah? You getting what I mean? If you're afraid of getting the measles, then you do things to not get the measles. If you're afraid of, dying in an uncontrolled, freaked out way, then you do things to learn to handle your mind now when what arises in your mind as an obstacle is really mild compared to what could arise at the time of death. Yeah. And so really using what we experience in our life, at least to try to put the Dharma into practice. Yeah, instead of what often happens is something comes up and we don't even think of the Dharma. We go right into our old habits. The problem is outside. Yeah? The problem is these people are doing that. The problem is this is happening in the environment. The problem is something, It's in the air. It's in the food. Yeah. The problem is in the cats. The problem is in, the noise. The problem is in something else, And we firmly believe at that time, no matter how many teachings we've heard about our mind being the source of happiness and pain, some small things happen and instantly it's outside. Yeah? And I've got to change outside. Otherwise, I cannot function. And that's a dangerous mental state. Yeah? I mean, it's dangerous. Yeah? Because we just create a lot of negative karma with it. And if that comes up at the time of death, we're goners. Yeah? Because at the time of death, they're having all sorts of karmic visions. And if we think those karmic visions are real and they're outside, yeah, then that's a big problem, isn't it? Mm-hmm. When I was in college, one summer I worked at an old folks' home. Well, no, it wasn't an old folks' home. It was a nursing facility. And there was one woman there who had very severe dementia. She was in a crib so that she didn't wander. And she would, when I went to, treat her, she would say, "Please, would you hold the baby for me?" Yeah, there was no baby there. Yeah. Or, "Please, the baby's crying. Can you take care of the baby?" So, she wasn't hostile or anything, but, there was this karmic vision, and for her it was real. Now, what happens if you have a karmic vision of, like, let's say you hate being criticized. Most of us hate it. But let's say you have a karmic vision of everybody around you criticizing you. Do you have the inner strength to say, "Oh, this is just an appearance to the mind"? Do we have the inner strength to say, "Oh, this is due to my karma. It's helping me, it's the ripening of some negative karma. I'm glad it's happening. I'm not going to freak out." Yeah. Even cultivating some compassion for the karmic appearance of all those people who are criticizing you. Yeah. So this is, the stuff we have to practice with whatever happens now in our day-to-day life. Instead of thinking, "Oh, there's these external things that are happening. I cannot practice. First, I have to create a totally clear environment, and then I will practice." So I have to be in the middle of a group of kind people. I have to have the food that I like. It has to be the temperature that I like. It has to be, like this and that and the other thing. And then when I've arranged all that, then I'll practice. Yeah, it's so easy to think like that, isn't it? Yeah. There's just this small obstacle. My stomach hurts. I can't practice when my stomach hurts. Yeah. So I'll forget about practice. I'll just let my, stomach heal, and then I'll practice after my stomach stops hurting. Yeah. And in the meantime, there was the opportunity to practice, but we never even thought about it. And so our mind was tremendously unhappy because, my stomach hurts. Oh, this is terrible. I must be getting, cancer. I'm going to die. This is awful. And, our mind makes up some big story. Whereas, even in that moment, if we practice the Dharma and we say, "Well, there's some negative karma ripening. That's good. Now that negative karma is done. I'm glad." Then your stomach hurts, your mind is happy. But if you don't practice in that moment, your mind is miserable. And you complain to everybody around you, thinking that they're supposed to make your stomach stop hurting. How are they going to do that? Yeah. So, we really need to take this seriously and do our best. And we may not be instantly successful in applying the antidotes, but it's only through trying that we'll eventually learn how. If we don't try, and instead we say, "I'll do it after my stomach starts hurting, after my stomach's okay. I'll do it after I've slept enough. I'll do it after, this person apologizes." Then, we're self-sabotaging. So, it's up to us. Yeah. And when we get to the time that we die, we can't go, oh boy, now I see what she was talking about. I should have practiced before. Yeah. Oh, I missed all those times to practice because I had stomach aches every month. So I missed all those times to practice. And now I'm dying and there's nothing to do except I'm going to experience the result of my negative karma. All the complaining I did because of my stomach ache and all the, this stuff. So that's why, in this book, His Holiness taught the 8 verses of thought training. Yeah, because these verses and all the thought training texts, they're so precious in the sense of helping us transform adversity into the path. And adversity is going to come. Yeah. Isn't it? Yeah? Adversity is going to come. We're in samsara. It's going to come. So we need to have a way to deal with it. And these thought training practices are the way to deal with it. So we have the 8 verses, we have the 37 practices, we have the Wheel of Sharp Weapons. There's so many wonderful texts that if we practice them now will really help us, especially when, heavier karma ripens, because our body's getting older, isn't it? So we're going to start having problems, so might as well prepare for them now. So verse 7, yeah. The previous verses were talking about different situations to, on how to practice in. Verse 7 is one of the general antidotes that will work in all the situations if we remember to do it. Yeah, and if having remembered, we try to do it. Okay, so it says, in short, I will offer directly and indirectly every benefit and happiness to all beings my mothers. I will practice in secret, taking upon myself all their harmful actions and suffering. Okay, so His Holiness says, this verse describes, oh, I can't teach, my throat is clogged. Do you feel sorry for me?
Finding cough drops right now.
Oh, yeah. I only want special cough drops. I don't want any cough drops. They have to be special ones. Yeah. Yeah. So this verse describes the taking and giving meditation, where at the level of thought, we cultivate compassion so strong that we imagine taking upon ourselves the suffering of others, as well as the afflictions and destructive karma that caused it. Upon taking these, we think that they destroy our own ignorance and self-centeredness. Then, with a loving heart, we imagine transforming our body, possessions, and merit into whatever others need and giving those to them. This meditation can be practiced in conjunction with our breathing, inhaling the suffering of others with compassion, and exhaling with love all that they need to be happy. So this meditation is quite powerful. Yeah? And if we don't think too much about it, it's very easy to do. Oh, I'm taking on the suffering of others, all their negativities and karma, and I'm giving them my body, possessions, and merit, and it feels so good to do that. Okay. But when you really think that you're going to do that, yeah, it's much more difficult. Yeah. So I'm there with my stomach ache. And then I think of other living beings that have stomach aches. And I think, what would it be like if I took on the pain of all of their stomach aches? Then you think of how much your stomach hurts now and how much is going to hurt after you take on all their pain. And then you go, excuse me, I don't think I'm going to even visualize taking on their pain. I can't even handle my own pain. Yeah. So that shows the depth of our compassion. We chicken out, even at the level of serious imagination. So it's important at that time, not to just either make it abstract where you feel very holy doing it, or to make it so solid that you're terrified and can't do it, but to encourage yourself and say, look, my stomach hurts anyway. Yeah? And there are all these beings who have been kind to me, and wouldn't it be nice if my stomach ache could suffice for all of their stomach aches? Yeah, as long as my stomach is hurting anyway, I might as well take on their pain. Yeah? Because at least I'm better equipped to experience it than all these beings who don't have the Dharma. Because at least I can think, it's purifying my negative karma. And then, so then you imagine taking their pain, but you also imagine all these beings being so relaxed now that they have no stomach pain. Yeah? So it's kind of the happiness that you want, the relief from the stomach ache. Now you imagine all those other people feeling relief from their stomach ache. And you feel, oh, that's so good. Yeah? And so instead of focusing now on your stomach ache, you think of how relieved those beings feel from being free from the pain of their stomach aches. Yeah? And then you feel quite okay. Yeah? Because thinking that you can actually do something good to alleviate somebody else's pain is quite a wonderful thought. Mm-hmm. And then you do the giving part of the meditation, where you imagine giving your body possessions and merit. And then if if your mind says, give my body, I don't want to give my body. My body's my precious thing. I pamper this body. I take care of this body. I can't give my body away. It's so... I don't want to separate from this body. Well, if we have that idea, what are we going to do when we die? When we don't have a choice? So we have to look at what the nature of this body is. It's vegetable goo. It's nothing beyond that. There's nothing here to be attached to. So especially if we can imagine transforming our body into what other living beings want, giving it to them, that's making good use of this pile of vegetable goo. Good. Yeah, give this body away. Yeah. I mean, of course, we keep it healthy because as much as we can because we have a precious human life, but we can't always keep this body healthy, so we have to imagine transforming it and, make it a wish-fulfilling body that will help others. Imagine your body, transforming. Think of those kids at the border, They just separated some more kids from their parents. Some of the kids were babies under a year old, separated from their parents. And the parents are freaking out, and the kids are freaking out. And imagine that you can give your body and it becomes whatever they need. Like you can manifest, you can manifest like their parents so that the child feels comforted. You can manifest as a new border control officer who says, screw the rules, I'm putting all these people together, and then you manifest as the Hilton Hotel, and they get to stay there and relax after their arduous journey, and you manifest as an immigration judge that allows them to come in the country, and you manifest as somebody who will give them a job, and you manifest as a school for the kids. And so, you think that you can give your body possessions and wealth, and it becomes whatever these people need, including after they have the physical necessities, then, you manifest as Dharma books and Dharma teachers and all of that, so that they can learn the Dharma, they can create virtue, they can stop creating the causes for the kind of suffering they're experiencing right now. And you imagine them being freed from all of their current suffering as well as the, any future suffering. And you just imagine these people who are in horrid conditions right now, suddenly just being so relaxed and joyful and practicing the Dharma and having a peaceful mind. And then where's your stomach ache in all of that? When you imagine all these people being happy, you've forgotten about your stomach ache a long time ago. Mm-hmm. And now your mind is really happy. And even if you remember your stomach ache, it's like, that's okay, no problem. Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's quite a powerful meditation if we, put our energy into really doing it and, thinking of it in an elaborate way. If you just do it I inhale the suffering of others, I exhale with love, I inhale their suffering, I exhale my body and possessions, it won't have much effect on your mind. So really sit and, think of living beings and make it an elaborate thing. Yeah, and overcome, if you're feeling reticent in any of these ways, just, remind yourself it's only a visualization. Let me just even try to visualize taking on their suffering, and to experience what that might feel like. Let me try and think about giving them my body, possessions, and merit, and what that feels like, and how relaxed and joyful they are. Yeah. So if you do that, then even you're lying in bed, you're creating so much virtue. Yeah. To paraphrase the Kashmiri sage Penshan Chakrashi, when I'm happy, I dedicate this well-being for all sentient beings throughout space to be filled with happiness and its cause, merit. When I am miserable, may my suffering desiccate the suffering of all sentient beings. Through my experiencing difficulties, may all others be free of these. So these are lines. You can copy them out of the book. They're on page 167. Keep them with you, and then the next time you're happy, then dedicate it through, give your happiness away and imagine that you send it out to all the sentient beings and fill them with happiness. You give them your happiness and your merit. And the next time you don't feel well, you're in a bad mood, imagine that you are taking on their suffering. Recite these verses, and then that will help you to remember how to think. So in this verse, so then His Holiness says, these are the thoughts of a true mind training practitioner, someone who is at peace with himself and with others. Yeah. So, if we don't practice like this, we're not at peace with ourselves, and we're not at peace with others, and, everything's kind of a mess. Then His Holiness goes on, practicing in secret may be understood in two ways. It suggests that this practice of love and compassion may not be suitable for beginners and should be taught only when someone has a certain depth of courage and commitment to the mind training practice. Okay? So they say that the mind training practice initially was not taught publicly. It wasn't until the time, I think, Geshe Sharawa or Geshe Chekawa, they were the first one to teach it publicly. Before, they only taught it in secret because you have to have a certain inner strength even just to imagine doing these practices. Okay? In secret also refers to how we should do this practice, discreetly, with humility and integrity, without drawing attention to ourselves. So without, my stomach is really killing me, but I'm doing the mind training practice. I am taking on the suffering of all sentient beings. I am giving them all my merit. I am so filled with compassion and love because I'm such a great practitioner. And I'm taking on your suffering and giving you my happiness. So remember, you owe me something. Okay, so to avoid that kind of attitude, they say practice it in secret. So they always say with the Dharma, that your external appearance should be very normal, and internally you practice the mind training and the bodhisattva path, and secretly you do the tantra. Okay, so Geshe Chekawa advises that we radically transform our inner thoughts and emotions, but act normally. When a person with little knowledge succumbs to the temptation to show off and assumes an air of importance, it cheapens his or her true experience and it deceives others. We should definitely avoid this. But nowadays, everybody wants to show off. Nowadays, everybody wants to look good in front of others and, attract a large following and be regarded as somebody holy and special. But the really great Kadamba Geshis, that was so far from their mind. And you can see that in the real serious practitioners nowadays too. Then verse 8, without these practices being defiled by the stains of the 8 worldly concerns, by perceiving all phenomena as illusory, I will practice without grasping to release all beings from the bondage of the disturbing, unsubdued mind and karma. Okay? So without these practices being defiled by the 8 worldly concerns, whoa, that is something to practice. To abandon that so that the 8 worldly concerns don't sneak into the above 7 practices. So the 8 worldly concerns consist of 4 pairs. Delight at receiving money and possessions, and dejection at not receiving them or losing them. Yeah, do you feel that way? Yeah, that's what we call normal. Any normal person. Yeah, I get some money and possessions, I feel good. Yeah, someone steals them, they get destroyed, I'm upset. This is normal, isn't it? Yeah, Buddha says it's the 8 worldly concerns. Yeah, well, what's wrong with the 8 worldly concerns? Well, the biggest problem is that you create a lot of negativity under their influence. And you make a lot of problems for yourself right now, and you make a lot of problems for other people right now. And they prevent you from doing serious Dharma practice. Yeah, but it's hard, you get some money or possessions and just, even-minded. Yeah, they gave it, that's nice. I rejoice at their virtue. Instead of, I rejoice at, look what they gave me. I must be somebody important and they gave me something really cool. Look at this. Okay. And then the second one, delight with receiving praise and approval, and dejection when receiving criticism or disapproval. Which do you want more, money and possessions or praise and approval?
Praise and approval.
Who wants praise and approval more than money and possessions? Oh my goodness. Yeah. At least with money and possessions, you have something you can use. Praise and approval, you don't have anything. What do you have to show for praise and approval? Nothing. You can't eat it. You can't even use it for toilet paper. Praise and approval, what do they do for us? Yeah, except maybe make us a little bit arrogant. Yeah, but to praise and approval, if somebody praises you, does that mean you're good? If somebody criticizes you, does that mean you're awful? Yes, we say, for sure. Yeah. But think about it, does it? What?
We said it's not established.
Yeah. The reason is not established, no pervasion. It's a faulty argument. That was the argument. I will be happy when I receive praise and approval. Or no, praise and approval are the, let's make a syllogism out of it, are the cause of happiness because I feel happy when I receive them. Okay, so the subject, praise and approval. Do you feel happy when you receive them? No, it should be.
They bring happiness.
They bring happiness. No, it should be praise and approval are the cause of happiness because they mean I am a good person. Mm-hmm. So, is the reason established? Does praise and approval mean that you are a good person? No. So, you can't even go on to the pervasion because the reason's not established. So, somebody says, why? Why doesn't praise and approval mean I'm a good person? If people praise me and approve of me, yeah, they're logical, sensible people. Yeah. And so if they approve of what I'm doing and they praise me, then, and they won't lie, then it means I really am a good person. True?
Pervasion.
But they only do it once a week, so the rest of the week I'm just
They only praise you once a week?
So then the rest of the time I'm a bad person.
Oh, that's problematic, isn't it? Then you should complain to them, you know? I mean, doesn't that happen in relationships? You say to your partner, you don't tell me you love me enough. I want you to tell me you love me more. Yeah, so then you complain to people. You need to tell me how wonderful I am more. I need more praise. Yeah?
Complaining does not make a good person.
Complaining. What?
So the remedy is then to get people to, you have to complain to get people to praise you more. But when you're a good person, you never complain.
And when you complain, do people want to praise you? Yeah. Yeah.
You have to ask for it, it's not praise.
Yeah.
That's pathetic.
But that's what we do, isn't it? We ask for it. Yeah. Especially, the people that were in some kind of relationship, tell me how much you love me. Yeah. Or, I just did this job. Tell me how I did. Meaning, tell me I did a good job.
I have a fear that is such as a childish continuation of our childhood, maybe mixing it up with encouragement. A child needs certain encouragement to grow up, right? And then we haven't grown up, and so we still think we need something.
Yep, we haven't grown up yet, have we?
Then the question is, encouragement, you say it's good to encourage people on the path, so what's the difference between encouragement and praise?
Yeah, so, that's a very good argument. When you're short on praise, then you go to the person you want to praise you, and you say, encourage me. And encouragement is part of your Dharma practice. You create merit when you encourage other people. And praise encourages people. So you will create merit if you praise me and encourage me. That one's irrefutable, huh? No? No? What's the difference?
I think when I encourage somebody, for example, when we have the routine or the opportunity to fly to our retreat and after retreat and say, please continue with your practice or like you do after retreat. And it's something really for the long-term benefit. So the motivation is, I guess, different. And then also, let's say, if I have the intention of encouraging, then maybe it's like, you express your own feelings. For example, when you helped me out, like this morning when Mapenda was mentioning Vanamanima's support in the kitchen, taking over the cooking because she was so overloaded. And then she really appreciated that, and that was encouraging for Vanamaniма, I would think, to hear these words. It wasn't praise, So because, there was a...
Oh, look at her. She's electrified, flying in space. So, so we should encourage people but not praise them then. Yeah. Oh, she disagrees. What do you think?
Call it what you will. The problem is not the praise, it's the attachment to it.
Mm-hmm.
You can make it sound pretty, appreciation or encouragement, but basically it's our attachment that's tripping us up.
Mm-hmm. So what's wrong with being attached to praise? It makes you feel good. The other person created good karma. You rejoice at their merit because they created virtue by praising you. and you feel good and you feel encouraged and now you're happy. Yeah, what's wrong with it? A little bit of attachment never hurt anybody. I mean, what? You expect me to be depressed after somebody praises me? Yeah, I think it's wonderful. Yeah, I'm open. You benefit when you praise me. So here I am, the object of your praise, and you achieve so much benefit from it. Yeah, you really should praise me more.
It's a bottomless pit.
What?
It's a bottomless pit.
It's a bottomless pit, but you still can fill it a little bit. Yeah, I mean, a little bit of praise is better than none at all. Oh, what do you say? What's wrong with it being attached to praise?
Attachment is what steals our life from us.
Attachment
Steals our life from us.
It steals our life.
It turns even, what could be a small amount of dharma into a negativity.
Why?
Because it exaggerates where happiness is coming from. It doesn't come from the praise. It doesn't come from outside of ourselves. It comes from our own positive states of mind and actions.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a delusion. It's distorted.
But everybody feels that way. Everybody's happy when they're praised. You think the whole world is wrong? Yeah? Did Buddha say we're not supposed to feel happy?
No, Buddha never said that.
No.
Buddha said don't be attached.
Well, but I'm not attached. I just enjoy being praised.
I think the problem is also that you are totally dependent on others to feel good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that doesn't work in the long term.
Why doesn't it work? If I pester them enough, that helps me.
What about if nobody is around? Then you're there and
then
nobody can praise you and you are lost.
They email me a lot, and then when they're not around, so they can put their praise in an email.
And what
It's
about
just
when you are dying? What about at the moment you're dying? You don't feel good.
Oh,
about
it'll
yourself and
sound.
nobody's
Praises,
around.
It'll be wonderful then if I
No,
get praised.
but nobody's around.
You are so tranquil, dying. You must be a great saint. Look how peaceful you are when you're dying. We will tell the world after you're dead what a holy being you are, how you're meditating on the clear light.
The last BBC.
Venerable Lamsa. Is it her turn?
A similar point for Venerable Jampa is if you're constantly referring outside of yourself to feel good, you don't know who you are, and you're just needing that constant feedback. Then when it's not there, what to do?
Mm-hmm. What to do? Listen to read, save all the cards. Yeah. All the cards, even the little scraps of paper, the ones you can't recycle them anyway, they're too small. But, that tell you how good you are and how you save all of those. You should look, I have a pile from every retreat of all the praise that people offer after every retreat. Yeah, so when nobody's around, I just lean back and I pull them out. What'd you say?
There's a name for that.
Yeah. Oh, it's so reassuring. Oh, thank you for this lovely retreat. You are such a good teacher. Oh, you made the Dharma so understandable to me. Thank you so much.
Do you believe it all?
Huh?
Do you believe it all?
Of course. These people wouldn't lie. I just got done telling them not to lie and to keep their precepts so they're not lying. Yeah. So on my deathbed, when I can't read, you can read all of these to me. Yeah. And then after I die, you can put all these notes and cards in the museum.
Yeah, but Venerable, for your benefit, you become very easy to manipulate. No, if you only believe, like if you want the praise, then you should really stop talking about controversial issues because people are gonna stop praising you.
Okay.
Oh, okay, that was easy. But yeah, then
Yeah, just tell me what I need to do so that I can continue to receive praise, and I'll do it.
you should then say very nice. Holiday tomorrow.
Okay. Holiday tomorrow.
Okay.
I said it. Do I mean it? You just said say it. You didn't say mean it. Yeah.
Doesn't that mean the words that praise don't have to be read either?
No. As long as they sound good and I believe them, I don't care if people really mean them or not. Yeah? As long as they sound good. What, you expect me to have discriminating wisdom when it comes to praise? Forget it. If you praise me, you are my friend forever, or until you criticize me.
So what makes you different from Tashi the dog? Good dog, roll over, yeah!
I don't roll over.
Oh, I see.
So if somebody really needs praise and approval in order to feel good about themselves, then the chances are they're going to, at some point, question that praise and approval and kind of doubt it. And no, maybe not you, but some people.
What, you doubt the praise and approval other people give you?
Well, they
If
could
you
praise you
doubt it,
for.
then I'm not going to bother praising you
They
anymore.
could praise you for an hour, and then they stop, and you go, "Something's wrong." They stop. They're not praising me constantly.
Well, you know,
You
they
need
gotta,
more of it.
They have to have a cup of tea.
Yeah, but they could praise me while they're doing that, and they're not.
Yeah.
So what I find is that the more that I crave praise, the more that I am disturbed when I get criticized. So there's kind of a direct correlation between the two. And so it's like constantly going up and down, up and down. There is no peace of mind because you're either very happy because somebody praised you, and then, or at the same time, or not so happy because somebody has criticized you. Like, I made lunch today. Some people liked it, some people didn't. So if I were to pay attention to, I'll be going crazy. These people like, oh, the other person didn't like it. Oh my God, I'm so bad. Oh, but I'm so good because I actually did something that they like. Oh my God, but I didn't cook enough. Oh my goodness. So it would be like, where's the peace of mind there?
Okay, you have to develop some discriminating wisdom. You listen to the praise and you ignore the criticism. Yeah, because the people who criticize you don't know what they're talking about.
Thank you, Venerable. That's what I wanted to hear.
I think it's impossible to defeat you in debate. So I'm not even going to put forward an argument with someone.
Good, see, she praised me. She's a smart student.
Yeah. So now I expect something later. Okay.
Forget it.
Oh, okay. Anyway, there's a question. It's similar to Venerable Jampa's about the difference between encouragement and praise. If you say, hang in there, you can do it, is that praise or is that encouragement?
Okay, what do you think? How many say it's praise? No one. How many say it's encouragement? Encouragement wins.
It could be a little of both. But encouragement doesn't have to have praise.
Yeah, encouragement doesn't have to have praise. That's true. Yeah.
I think the difference between encouragement and praise, if I'm trying to make a clear distinction in my mind, would be encouragement is really about trying to motivate a future action. And it can be more effective if you show someone, hey, you just did a thing, for instance, attending a retreat. You should keep practicing because you just practiced. If you simply said, good job attending this retreat, great job, and didn't actually try to lead towards a future beneficial action, then it's just praise. I think that's the distinction I see.
It seems like an over-attachment to praise might lead to narrow-mindedness, and the opposite of openness, in the sense where somebody is constantly looking for praise and just not being open to criticism or other views.
Yeah, feed me my praise. Yeah. Otherwise, whatever you say is fake news. Yeah. Okay, let's go on here. Okay, so praise and approval. Yeah. Go beyond money and possessions. Then the next one is the next pair: delight with fame and a good reputation, and dejection when infamous and notorious. Okay? So, okay, anybody have attachment to fame and reputation? And dislike of infamy and notoriety? So of these three ones, which one is more important to you? What do you want more? Good reputation or praise?
Approval.
Okay. How many people want praise and approval more than a good reputation? Really? How many want a good reputation more than praise and approval? You want both? The difference is praise is sweet words told to you personally. Reputation is what a big group of people think about you. Yeah. So that big group of people that give you a good reputation, they can also praise you. Yeah. But you can be praised without having a good reputation. Yeah. So reputation, you're very concerned with your image in front of a group of people. Yeah. And you want to be known as whatever, you have an image of yourself that you want to be famous for, and then you put forth that image and you try and develop it so that people really think you are that. Yeah. You are the greatest shelf maker in the world. No one. You are written up in Fortune 500. Huh?
So pick up your feet, it's getting deep.
Yeah. So, whatever we're good at, we want to be known to some group of people as being really excellent. Yeah. And no notoriety. Yeah. I mean, you look at just what happened, this lawyer who helped make the plea deal for Jeffrey Epstein, who was so famous, and now, within a few days, he went to having a wonderful reputation to resigning from being the head of the Department of Labor.
He did?
He resigned today, yeah. Yeah.
It's like the sixth cabinet member that's had ethical issues. All the ones that have been.
Yeah, the ones that have been, yeah. Yeah. It's quite amazing. Okay, let's keep going here. Next set of 8 worldly concerns: delight with pleasurable sights, sounds, smells, tastes, and tangible objects, and dejection with those that cause unpleasant feelings. Oh, is this one important for you? You think that's important for him?
Sure.
Yeah?
Especially the dejection of bad things that cause bad feelings.
Yeah. So which of the four pairs, which one is stronger for you? This one? For how many people is this one the strongest one? Yeah? Because this one really includes, when you don't feel well. Yeah, when it's too hot, it's too cold. Yeah. Everything, you smell awful things, you see awful things. Or, you're delighted when you see beautiful things. Yeah. Who thinks this one's kind of the biggest one for you? Yeah. Yeah. And how about for praise and blame? Anybody still think that's the biggest one? Okay. So these 8 run our lives, don't they? Completely run our lives. And so when it says, may the above practices not be defiled by the stains of the 8 worldly concerns, it means that whenever these are operating, even we just did something virtuous, we are now kind of disintegrating our own virtue by making it what we did into a worldly concern. Yeah. I practice generosity. How wonderful I am. Yeah. Or whatever it is. Yeah. So, what was this other one about? Whenever I meet a person of bad nature who is overwhelmed by negative energy and intense suffering, I will hold such a rare one dear as if I had found a precious treasure. So you just get done doing that. Some horrible, disagreeable person. And, and you manage to be kind to them and, you don't let your negative mind get out of control. You're kind and you think, yeah, I did hold them as a precious treasure. So, yeah, I'm getting to be a pretty good Dharma practitioner. Yeah. I wonder if any of the other monastics at the Abbey do this. I don't think so. They're usually pretty critical when they meet people of a bad nature. But I'm really turning into quite a good practitioner here. Yeah. But I won't say anything to them because that would ruin my virtue. So, I need to appear to be very humble. Yeah. Okay. So very easy for the 8 worldly concerns to sneak in. These 8 worldly concerns pollute our virtuous activities. For example, His Holiness says, when I sit on the Dharma throne, if in the back of my mind there is the thought, did I give a good Dharma talk? Will people praise or criticize me? My mind is polluted with the 8 worldly concerns. Yeah. So you're sitting there giving a BBC. You have your computer, so you don't make a mistake. You've written out every single word of what you're going to say. Yeah. And so you have quotations from this person, quotations from that person. It's all in excellent English, completely written out, and you're giving your BBC, with no stuttering. You're not making poor Venerable Yeshe clip out all the things when you mispronounce words. And you deliver this perfect BBC as if you were in a graduate seminar. Yeah, because you have the right quotes from the right person and you give this in a very authoritative way. And you're quite proud of yourself. And you think, I gave a good Dharma talk. Yeah. I can't wait to read on the comments section. Yeah, after they post it, I'll read the comments section. Yeah. But I don't think other people give us good Dharma talk, So they'll notice what an excellent BBC I give. And then, when there's the opportunity, when somebody at the Abbey gets requested to give a talk for somewhere, they will select me to do it because they know I will give such an authoritative talk. Right? Oh, you're smiling a lot. You're smiling and you look grim. Perceiving all phenomena as illusory is one method to prevent the eight worldly concerns from contaminating our mind. Before we can see all phenomena as like illusions, we have to realize that they are empty of inherent existence. But I'm meditating on emptiness and I actually get a feeling of like, it's all like an illusion. I think I'm really getting closer to realizing emptiness. This is so good. Okay, you have to realize they're empty of inherent existence. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. They all seem like illusions. Yeah, kind of like when I got stoned, They're all like illusions. So the realization of emptiness does not come about through repeating this verse in our mind or chanting empty, 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 while imagining nothingness. To develop a genuine insight into emptiness, we must employ reasoning to investigate how phenomena exist. Well, I can do that because I'm studying the debate class on Thursday night. Yeah? So I know what a syllogism is. Yeah? Yeah. Syllogism. I am the subject. What else would the subject of a syllogism? After all, the world centers around me. So I, regarding the subject, me, I am very humble. Because good, that's a good reason. Because I think so. Yeah? So I even know the, what's the first part in a good thing? It's called the property. Yeah? The title of the property that you bought. That's the first criteria. And the second criteria is called the pervasion. Yeah? Like when you spray fragrance everywhere and it pervades everywhere. Oh, except then he freaks out. Oh, yes, okay. One of the most effective and convincing ways to understand that everything is empty of inherent existence is to contemplate dependent arising and interdependence. A unique quality of this approach is that it enables us to find the middle way between total non-existence and independent or inherent existence. By understanding that things are dependent, we know that they are not independent. But we just celebrated Independence Day, so things are independent. Yeah, we just had a big parade. Yeah. And we have tanks to prove that we're independent. Yeah. Mm. Since independent existence and inherent existence are synonymous, we then know that that phenomena lack inherent existence. However, things are not totally non-existent because they exist dependently. Contemplating in this way, we will not be lost in either absolutism or nihilism and will generate the correct view. Mm-hmm. So, yes, things are everything's dependent except me. Yeah, I can look. Yeah, the room depends on the walls and this, and the table depends on its parts, and you depend on being merely labeled. But I am I. I am here. Yeah, independent of causes and conditions. Independent of parts. You can't break me into parts. And I don't depend on being conceived and designated. I have my own existence coming from in here.
What about your dependency on praise?
You're a spoil sport.
Sorry.
Okay. Once we gain insight into emptiness in our meditation, there is a new quality to our interactions with the world and the people in it. This is due to our awareness of the illusory nature of veiled objects. Yeah, we need to correct that. Of veiled objects we encounter in daily life. With an understanding of both the empty and the illusory natures of persons and phenomena, we can work with compassion to skillfully lead others on the path so that they too will be free from the unsubdued mind of afflictions and karma and will experience joy and peace of full awakening.
One other aspect of praise and approval and dejection with criticism and disapproval is there are situations where people react violently to people they don't approve of, or people that they disapprove of, and yeah, even the whole spanking a kid when you don't approve of their behavior kind of thing. I grew up in schools where it was like being in general population. Really, you didn't want to have big people disapproving of you because they might jump you after school or right there in school. So I was thinking about this and thinking that because of that, growing up in a situation like that, I have maybe some fear of criticism and disapproval in that way, and feel safer with the approval and the praise. And I didn't think praise and approval were that important to me until I looked at how much aversion I had to criticism.
Yeah. That's the thing. We hardly ever realize our attachment to something until we don't have it. And then, or we get the opposite, and then it's like, whoa, I want that back. So, and that's because when we get the praise and approval, we feel good. So nobody ever questions we don't question our mind when we feel good. We just say, yeah, that feels good, more. Yeah. And then, like you said, when we get the criticism and disapproval, then we see how much we're attached to the praise and approval.
In thinking about the delight with pleasurable sense objects, I think that's very pervasive, at least it is for me, and I'm so habituated to it, and I live well, so if there's one thing that I don't get, I don't even spend time very much with the not getting, like, food on the table or something. I have a choice to get something else to meet that. And so it's going from one thing to another like that in this kind of not very aware, pervasive dance that takes a lot of time away.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a good example. I don't like this on the table, but I can get that. But I'm not attached to food. Yeah, we don't see the attachment. Yeah.
I was thinking, when I was a child, sound, sight, smell, taste, and such haven't been such a big deal. And like you mentioned the example of a kaka, when kids playing kaka, little ones. By the way, it's kake in German, so I think we say kaka too. So, and I imagine that I have done it too, but I wasn't annoyed by the smell for sure. And so, but when your parents say this is dirty, then you adapt that, and over time. So, when somebody says something who's an adult, yeah, I think I have adapted many things. And so that proves to me that a lot what is my problem is that I have conceptions in my mind, and that I have to really look into what are my conceptions here.
Yeah.
So someone is saying that, don't we need to preserve our reputation for our bodhisattva vows? And can you help us be careful not to make this a worldly concern?
So, yes, there is one of the Bodhisattva vows that talks about, there's a few. One is, if you've made somebody angry, or if somebody has gotten angry about what you've said or done and criticized you, then you need to go and make amends with that person, because otherwise, you're being the object with which they're creating negative karma. And then also, if you want to benefit others, it's important to have a good reputation. But you've got to have a good reputation honestly. Yeah, and not a fake good reputation. Because if you have a fake good reputation, then as soon as you don't get what you want, it's going to really show. Yeah, and then you really will lose your reputation. So they do say, this is one reason why it's important to keep your precepts well, because if you keep your precepts well, then other people will trust you. That will give you a good reputation, but you want the good reputation not because it bolsters your ego, but because that will give you the opportunity to meet people and engage with them in a Dharma way. Yeah. So you preserve your reputation, but not with the motivation of one of the 8 worldly concerns. Yeah. And if you've done something and your reputation is in shatters, you own it and you make amends with whoever you harmed.
And then the friends in Singapore, they had a question from last week. Are there methods other than forgiveness and compassion to counteract negative situations?
Yes, we just got done talking about a bunch of them in the 8 verses. So go through the 8 verses and you'll see for in different disturbing situations other remedies that are there. But what's wrong with compassion and forgiveness? I want a remedy to my anger, but I don't want to have compassion for that idiot who hurt me, and I'm never going to convince them. But I do want to get rid of my anger. Yeah, that's not going to work. Okay, but there are other remedies to deal with difficulties, yeah?
Just this conversation about the difference between praise and encouragement and the back and forth and the different views about it. It's the first time I think I really got at a deeper level how much it depends on the ears of the hearer. That we can take, I mean, depending on my own level of craving at any given moment, I could take something as praise. I can take it as encouragement. I could even take the same words as criticism. And it doesn't really have anything to do with what praise means or what criticism means or what encouragement means. It's how I hear it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, because the example after the retreat, if somebody says, oh, good job, you came to the retreat and really continue to practice afterwards, then you could think, why are they telling me to practice afterwards? They think I'm just going to drop the whole thing because I'm a lousy practitioner. Yeah? Somebody could think like that, couldn't they? And take offense. Yeah? Whereas the person who said it is trying to encourage them and maybe praise them. Yeah? But then that person gets offended by it.
I think with the first one and the last one, there's a big connection for me. I don't see myself being so concerned about money just as money. It's what it can get. And the possessions, what can I get from them in a way of delightful sounds and sights and smells and tastes.
Yeah.
And so I'm not real hung up on the first one for its own sake.
Yeah. Not
But
for
I
its own
do
sake.
have it hooked.
But it
Like-
gets you the last
Like
one.
food can be a possession, and it's, it's not just taste, it's a tangible object in the absence of it in your stomach sometimes too.
Yeah. But it's interesting with money and possessions, because on one hand, you're right, they can get us the sense pleasure we want. So some people want money and possessions for that. But some people like money and possessions because they will get praise and approval, for example, from their family. Other people like money and possessions because then they'll have a good reputation. Yeah. Other people like money and reputation, money and possessions, because then they think other people will love them. They'll get love and appreciation. So money and possessions symbolize a whole lot of different things. If you have them, you're successful, you're lovable, yeah, you're talented, you're praiseworthy, you're famous, yeah. You're smart, they can symbolize so many different things, depending what people project on it. And similarly with, if somebody has a simple life, people can project all sorts of stuff. In this country, if you don't have material possessions, if you're lacking them, then people project that you're lazy. Yeah, you're lazy, or you're stupid, or you don't know how to manage money. Yeah, or you spend all your time complaining, not working, or, you're not lovable, you're not worthwhile in society, your vote doesn't count. So we can project a lot of things based, on people, based on money and possessions. And most of it's rubbish, isn't it? Yeah? And you can really see for people that believe that money and reputation bring, one of these other things, you can see how much they suffer trying to use their money and possessions to get whatever it is they're really wanting. Yeah? And how unhappy they are when they can't manipulate the world to get what they want. So let's make a determination not to follow the 8 worldly concerns and to try and be a happy person without them. Yeah, and to see that if we don't follow them, we will wind up having contentment. And as Nagarjuna told us in the friendly letter to a friend, contentment is a very valuable thing to have.
I just thought about how, Lama Zopa Rinpoche's book often talks about thinking of the long-term consequences of following the 8 worldly concerns. And that I found quite helpful. And for me, with the fame and reputation one, often I think about the famous animals at the zoo.
Yeah.
At SeaWorld. I'm like, this is the ripening result,
Yeah, I want to be famous.
Every day, tens of thousands of people clapping for Shamu the whale. They put your face on a T-shirt. They sell cups with your face.
Yeah.
That's the ripening result.
Yeah, I want to be famous. Yeah, so I'll be born as a whale, and they'll sell T-shirts with my famous face on it. Yeah, I could never get on, in the news as a human being, but now as a whale, or, I saw a video of a cockatoo, because we had seen cockatoos in Australia. So there was a video of this cockatoo who danced to music. They played some rock music, and this cockatoo was, they're right there with the beat and lifting his leg up and down and walking here and there, right to the beat of this rock music, And I thought, wow, it fits that. As a human being, he probably never got, any fame. But now as a cockatoo, yeah, as a cockatoo, people think he's gorgeous with his white thing, and he has a name. What's his name? Snowflake or Snowball or something. Snowball. Yeah, and he's really rocking it, Yeah, so you want to be famous. And you want other people to say not only that you're a good dancer, but that you're beautiful. Yeah, look at that cockatoo. Yeah. But cockatoos, don't ask them to sing. They have a horrible voice. They screech. Yeah. Oh, you like it? I in high school, I was in a high school play, but I never thought of being an actress. I guess I could have been. What's too old? It's not too old. They need some old ladies in the films, don't they?
Steven Spielberg, Ruby Collins.
Oh, good. Yeah. Will he arrange for me to have a facelift too? Yeah.
You don't get those older roles.
Oh, okay. Well, that's okay. I can play the younger roles, and then we can draw the lines in, and I'll have the older roles too. Okay. She'll be my drama director, Yeah.
Your agent.
Yes.
Get her some water now.
Yeah. But she trained in the theater, so she knows all the right people. Yeah, I can be famous in Singapore. Where is Singapore? Anybody know where Singapore is? Oh, you're going to be jealous if I'm a famous actor.
I wanted to be a character actress too. I was just 25 years old. It was too soon.
Well, you could. Yeah, those people just don't appreciate you. But it's never too late for you too. You and I can be co-stars.
Oh, my dream.
Yes. She'll be your agent too.